Welcome to Y2K Babe. This is my disclaimer.
Patty Webster, rest in peace. She said, "Do you want to go to the studio to see Toni Braxton?" I said, "Okay." She said, "You can bring some teammates." I ended up going to dinner with Scott Brooks. Next day in practice, shoot around. And as we moved forward, I started to hear the stuff about Toni Braxton. And now Toni Braxton didn't help it because she had an album called Secrets at the time. So she came out and said, which is great PR for her, "A good girl doesn't kiss and tell."
Toni Braxton, our 90s sultry queen, 7-time Grammy winner, the woman who gave us Unbreak My Heart and that voice that could make you feel things you didn't even know you could feel. She's always been that girl, sophisticated, timeless, elegant, the blueprint for R&B excellence. But then you look at her dating history and it's giving chaos. It's giving no type. It's giving the heart wants what the heart wants, but the heart is confused. So today we're breaking down Toni Braxton's complete dating timeline to figure out what is actually happening here. Let's get into it. First, let me remind you why Toni Braxton is that girl and has always been that girl. The voice, that deep contralto, unmatched. When Unbreak My Heart dropped in 1996, it wasn't just a song, it was a cultural reset. That track stayed at #1 for 11 weeks. 11 weeks. The look, the signature pixie cut, the elegant gowns, that infamous naked dress at the 2001 Grammys that had everyone shook. Toni understood the assignment every single time. The accolades, 7 Grammy Awards, 9 Billboard Music Awards, 7 American Music Awards, over 70 million records sold worldwide. She's a legend, an icon, a moment, a vibe. So when someone with this level of sophistication, this level of polish, this level of I am the standard energy starts dating, you'd expect a certain type, right? Wrong. Okay, so Toni's first public relationship was with music producer Bryant Reed. He worked with her on her debut album. Makes sense, creative connection, industry vibes, they're in the studio together. This is textbook, nothing chaotic yet. Then came Shemar Moore. And listen, this made perfect sense. Shemar was on The Young and the Restless at the time. Clean cut, handsome, respectable. The kind of man you bring home to mama and she's like, yes, this is the one. They dated for about 6 months in 1994 to 1995. It was cute. It was age appropriate. It was on brand for Toni's sophisticated image. This is what we call assortative mating in psychology. When people pair up with partners who match their social status, attractiveness level, and lifestyle. Toni and Shemar, perfect match on paper. Next up, NFL running back Curtis Martin. Hall of Famer, successful athlete, still checks all the boxes. They dated from 1996 to 1998, which is significant. But here's where it gets interesting. They broke up because Curtis's Christian faith made him realize he couldn't continue in a relationship that wasn't leading to marriage. But we're not in full chaos mode yet. These were all respectable, successful, conventionally attractive men who matched her energy. And then, okay, so before we get to the main event, we need to talk about the Dennis Rodman situation, because this is where the plot started to twist. Dennis Rodman, NBA legend, known for his rebounding, his defense, and his wild personal life. We're talking wedding dress stunts, multiple hair colors, piercings, tattoos, and dating Madonna and Carmen Electra. In the late 90s, there were rumors that Toni and Dennis had a brief fling. Now, this was never fully confirmed by either of them, but multiple sources reported they were seen together. And if this happened, this was the first major departure from her type. Dennis was the complete opposite of Shemar and Curtis. He was chaotic, unpredictable, and absolutely did not care what anyone thought about him. But this was allegedly just a fling, a moment. What happens in the 90s stays in the 90s situation. The real long-term chaos was still to come. In 2001, Toni married Carrie Lewis, a keyboardist from the R&B group Mint Condition. They had 2 sons together, Denim and Diesel. This was her longest relationship, 12 years of marriage. But here's the tea. Carey was not the high-profile match people expected. He was a backup musician, not the star, not the leading man. And this is where we start seeing a pattern that psychology calls counterdependency. When someone who appears very independent and self-sufficient actually craves deep emotional connection, but chooses partners who won't overshadow them. They divorced in 2013, and Toni has said the financial stress from her bankruptcy contributed to the split. Money problems are the #1 cause of divorce in America, so that tracks. But after this divorce, that's when things got spicy. Okay, so there were rumors in 2012 that Toni and Eddie Murphy had a thing. Eddie Murphy, the comedy legend. Now, this was never confirmed, but if it happened, this would be our first sign that Toni's type was starting to diversify. Eddie's known for having 10 children with 5 different women. He's chaotic in his own right. This would have been a departure from the respectable, stable pattern. But this was just a rumor. The real chaos was about to begin. And now we arrive at the main event, Birdman. Born Brian Williams, co-founder of Cash Money Records, net worth estimated at $150 million, known for his face tattoos, his grills, his signature hand rub, and the phrase, "respect my name." In 2016, Toni Braxton and Birdman started dating, and the internet lost it. Because how do you go from Shemar Moore's clean-cut soap opera heartthrob energy to this? Here's where it gets interesting from a psychology standpoint. There's a concept called complementary needs theory. Sometimes we're attracted to people who have traits we lack or suppress in ourselves. Toni has spent her entire career being polished, sophisticated, and controlled. Birdman is the opposite. He's unapologetically himself. He doesn't care what anyone thinks. He's loud where she's subtle. He's flashy where she's elegant. Sometimes, after years of maintaining an image, people are drawn to partners who represent freedom from that image. It's like dating your shadow self. In 2018, Birdman proposed with a massive engagement ring, reportedly worth $5 million. The ring was so big it had its own zip code. It was giving, "I have something to prove." It was giving, "I'm going to show the world she's mine." But they never actually set a wedding date. For years, they were engaged, but not married. Red flag? Maybe. Or maybe Toni was being cautious after her previous marriage ended. Then, in August 2024, plot twist of the century, they secretly got married. August 8th, 2024. They tied the knot. No announcement. No big wedding. Just quietly made it official. And everyone was like, okay, they finally did it. Good for them. 2 days later, August 10th, 2024, Toni filed for divorce. 48 hours. They were married for 48 hours before she filed paperwork citing the marriage was irretrievably broken. 48 hours. What happened in those 2 days? Did he leave the toilet seat up? Did he chew too loud? Did she realize the hand rub was going to be a permanent fixture at the dinner table? When someone files for divorce within 48 hours, that's not about something that happened in the marriage. That's about realizing you made a decision your gut was screaming against. But wait, there's more. In January 2025, Toni dismissed the divorce petition. They're back together, still married, keeping things private now. So they're currently married, but we don't know what's really happening because they've gone radio silent. After years of being the sophisticated R&B queen, maybe dating someone who doesn't fit that mold feels like freedom. Let's be real. Toni has had well-documented financial struggles. She filed for bankruptcy twice, in 1998 and 2010. Birdman is worth $150 million. There's a term called hypergamy, the tendency to marry up in socioeconomic status. After financial trauma, it makes sense to be attracted to financial stability. I'm not saying it's a gold digger situation. I'm saying trauma shapes our attraction patterns and financial trauma is real. The on again, off again. The secret marriage followed by immediate divorce filing followed by reconciliation. It's not healthy, but it's a pattern millions of people get stuck in because the highs feel so good and the lows feel so familiar. So maybe, and hear me out, maybe Birdman is what her heart actually wants, even if it doesn't make sense to our eyes. But let's also zoom out and talk about why we're all so pressed about Toni's choices. Toni is 57 years old. 57. At what point do we let grown women make their own choices without judgment? She's lived a whole life. She's been married. She's had kids. She's filed for bankruptcy twice. She's won Grammys. She's lost money. She's rebuilt her career multiple times. Maybe she's earned the right to date whoever makes her happy. Even if it confuses the rest of us, the real lesson, if there's anything to learn from Toni's dating timeline, it's this. You can be sophisticated and messy. You can be an icon and make questionable choices. You can be that girl and still be figuring it out. Nobody has it all together, not even our 90s sultry queen with 7 Grammys. And honestly, that makes her more relatable, not less. Toni Braxton is still that girl. She's always been that girl. And if that girl wants to be with Birdman, then that's her business. We're just here for the music, the drama, and the memes. All right, that's the complete Toni Braxton dating timeline breakdown. What do you think? Are you Team Birdman or Team Girl? What are you doing? Drop a comment and let me know. And if you want more deep dives into celebrity dating chaos, hit that subscribe button because we've got plenty more to unpack. Also, who should I cover next? I'm thinking maybe we need to talk about Janet Jackson's dating history because that's a whole other level of make it make sense. Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching.